Hi. I usually post a lot of serious stuff on my channel, but today I thought I'd post something that's not quite so serious. But first of all, I want to preface it by saying that I'm not trying to pick on anybody with alopecia. I have alopecia. This is alopecia. It's called androgenic alopecia, male pattern baldness, in other words. And there are different kinds of alopecia. Sometimes you'll see people who don't have like eyebrows or any hair on their head or their bodies. Sometimes they'll have like clumps of hair growing in some parts, and in other parts there is no hair. And those people, especially, tend to endure a lot of bullying, and I don't think that's right. Just because somebody has a problem that's beyond their control, that doesn't mean that they should be punished by mean spirited people. So, I'm not trying to be mean spirited about people who have alopecia or baldness. So, please don't misunderstand my joke. All right. So, there was a boy, and this is a fictitious story, okay? There's nobody really here. I do work with a guy by the name of Harold, and he thought this joke was hilarious. And he also has male pattern baldness. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk. So, Harold had alopecia, so his hair looked all kind of weird, and there were patches missing and stuff like that. And he got bullied a lot, but he quickly came upon a strategy that allowed him not only to kind of discourage the bullies, but made a lot of friends. Because when somebody would start bullying him about his alopecia, he would make jokes. Not about the person who was doing it necessarily, although if he did that, he was very careful about how he phrased it so that they would not perceive it as an attack on them. Because, bullies, you attack a bully, they just get more aggressive. And he had already tried that, and it didn't work out very well for him. Bloody nose and all that. But so he would make jokes about the joke or about his alopecia, and he would laugh along with the bully, and bullies would they would be like, he's not reacting the way I want him to react. So eventually the bully stopped teasing him about his alopecia. And so he developed a really good sense of humor and a really good gift for talking to people. And that made his life a lot easier. As he grew up, he decided he wanted to do something that would allow him to continue to spread his humor in a unique way. And so he opted to become a barber. Yes, that's true. He's a barber. And Harold decided, well, I don't want everybody to call me Harold, so he told everybody, call me Harry. And people would make jokes about it, and he'd go along with the joke because he had started the joke in the first place. Well, one day Harry met and fell in love with a woman, and she also had alopecia, and her name happened to be Harriet. And of course, when news got out that Harold's girlfriend, then fiance, then wife was named Harriet, there were lots of new jokes that came out as a result. And Harold was a very good sport, and Harriet also had developed a very good sense of humor about her alopecia, and it didn't bother her. In fact, she decided she wanted to have her own nickname. But since Harold had already taken her nickname, that she, Harold, Harry, right? Harriet, Harry, she decided that she would call herself Curly. And the patrons of their salon just loved it. They loved going to Harry and Curly's salon. In fact, that was what Harry actually renamed his salon, Harry and Curly's Salon. And people just thought it was just so terribly clever, and they really loved the couple and stuff like that. Well, by and by, Curly, not Harriet, Curly the woman, not Harriet the man, got pregnant. And so, people were all talking about it, and everyone was very happy for them. They were very, very popular with their customers. And even the angry people that came in to get a haircut loved Harry and Curly. And they were just so excited about the upcoming baby, and they were like, well, what are you going to name it? What are you going to name it? And that, we'll let you know later on. And so when the baby was born, it was announced that it was a boy, and that they decided after the father they would give him the first name of Harold. And after Curly's grandfather, they would name it Richard. So his name was Harold Richard. So Harold Richard spent a lot of time in the barber shop, being fawned over by lots of people, and since customers were so happy with Harry and Curly, and now Harold Jr., I guess you could say, not really Junior, but you know what I mean. They were very generous with gifts for the family and for Harold. And as Harold grew up, he helped around the salon. He even learned how to cut hair, and his parents' sense of humor developed in him. He had a very fertile sense of humor as a result of their efforts to make sure that he would have this good way of defending himself from verbal abuse by people. But when he grew up and became an adult, he went to his parents and said, "Mom, Dad," because he didn't call him Harry and Curly, I think, I know you want me to be the next owner of this business when you retire, but to be honest with you, I've had a great time with you here in the barbershop and all that, but I want to strike out on my own. I want to try something different." And they were like, a little bit sad, of course, because they had some hopes that he would take over the business, but at the same time, being good parents, they didn't force him to follow in their footsteps. They wanted him to be happy and to explore and to do what he wanted to do. So he set off on his own and tried several different things, and eventually he settled on becoming a gigolo. And so that he just because his parents had taught him to be funny and stuff, he decided, I don't want to be called Harold Richard or Harold or Richard. So since he was a gigolo, he decided that his name would be Harry Dick. That's my joke for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.